beseech thee to bless this council and all who are engaged in the work of local government. Grant that they may order all things in wisdom, righteousness, and peace to the honor of thy name and the good of thy people who dwell in this city. Amen. Amen. I would like to welcome you all to our council meeting. First and foremost, I would like to acknowledge the presence of my fellow councillors, Bulawayo City Council Management, all stakeholders, media fraternity, and residents. At this council, we are going to hear our 2024 budget. We are going to put our input freely and adopt the budget if possible. Without wasting any time, I would like to hand over to the Chairperson of Finance Committee to present the budget.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Am I audible? Yes. Thank you. Okay, allow me to recognize the presence of worship. Allow me to recognize the presence of my fellow councillors. Allow me to recognize the presence of heads of department, staff, and the members of the Fourth Estate. I'll take this opportunity to present and read the statement for Bulawayo City Council for 2024 budget. Firstly, I'll start by moving the motion to Your Worship. Your Worship, I move that I be granted permission to present a statement of estimated revenues and expenditure of the City of Bulawayo for 2024 financial year and to make provisions for matters ancillary and incidental to this purpose. This is in compliance with Section 288, subsection 1 of Urban Councils Act and Chapter 29.15 as read with Section 47 of Public Finance Management Act. Your Worship, allow me to thank you for your leadership and guidance in formulating this budget. I also want to express my appreciation to fellow councillors, heads of departments, and council staff for the valuable input into the processes. Special recognition goes to yourself, Your Worship, the chairpersons of various council committees for the leadership in steering councillors of this chamber in appointing a budget committee comprising representatives of stakeholders within the city. The budget committee has been instrumental in articulating the 2024 budget in their stakeholder groupings. Allow me to extend my gratitude to the Ministry of Local Government and Public Works, development partners, civic society, professionals, business organizations, and individuals whose input helped in shaping this budget. The budget is responding to various issues raised by stakeholders through consultative processes. Key among the issues raised include the need to predictability and stability in tariffs, providing conducive environment to do business, providing decent vending structures, prioritization of enforcement in regulations, decisively rectifying the proliferation of illegal activities in the city, ensuring the cleanness of the city, social services delivery, provision of social infrastructure to protect the vulnerable in the community, care for the people with disabilities, and environmental protection programs. I have heeded to the call by the citizens and made provisions in this budget. Your Worship, allow me to turn to the 2024 budget itself, which is presented under the 2024 national budget themed Consolidating Economic Transformation. I repeat, the 2024 national budget is themed Consolidating Economic Transformation. The theme is premised on the National Development Strategy, anchored on moving the nation towards attaining the national vision, as well as the city of Bulawayo's vision, leading to the vision to be a leading smart transformative city by 2024. A review of global and domestic economic developments during 2023 and beyond exists in contextualizing the 2024 budget. Your Worship, Council has made strides towards the attainment of the national vision through the pillars below, namely, number 1, economic growth and stability, number 2, food security and nutritional security, number 3, governance, number 4, value chain and structural transformation, number 5, health and well-being, number 6, housing delivery, number 7, human capital development, number 8, image building and international engagement and re-engagement, number 9, digital economy, number 10, infrastructure and utilities, number 11, youth, sports and culture, number 12, environmental protection, climate resilience and natural resource management. Lastly, social protection. The 2024 budget theme, Consolidating Economic Transformation, resonates with the City of Bulawayo growth strategy of renewal, stabilization and growth based on the 6 programs, namely program number 1, governance and administration, program number 2, water, sanitation and hygiene, program number 3, social services, program number 4, roads, program number 5, public safety and security services, and program number 6, natural resources conservation and management. The budget seeks to address the above while focusing on Council's vision of becoming a leading smart transformative city by 2024. Legislative framework. In fulfilling its mandate, the City of Bulawayo is also guided by various statutes which contain the terms of references which the Council observes. Annexure A lists the sources of Council statutory mandates. Overall outlook. The mid-term monetary policy statement of July 2023, quoting the International Monetary Fund's World Economic Outlook, is now focusing a GDP decline from 3.5% in 2022 to 3.0% in 2023. The decline will be mainly driven by advanced economies, whose growth is expected to fall from 2.7% in 2022 to 1.5% in 2023. Globally, headline inflation is, however, expected to start moderate from 8.7% in 2022 to 6.8% in 2023, benefiting the lower commodity prices, particularly oil. The developing situation in the Middle East may impact the forecast above. The country recently experienced exchange rate volatility, and domestic economy is projected to grow by 5.3% in 2023, up from the initial forecast of 3.8%. The growth is anchored on positive performance by mining, ICT, and tourism, on a backbone of expected improvements in electricity generation for the remainder of the year. The provincial economy is projected to grow at 3.5% against the national growth projection of 3.8% for 2023, given the prevailing macroeconomic environment. The Gwai-Shangani project will propel the growth rate of the province in the future. We envisage a clean city with solar-powered streetlights, trafficable roads, and spruced up recreational facilities for the youth. To that effect, the city embarked on spring cleaning, which is a resounding success due to overwhelming support from residents. Below are some of the stakeholders' participation in spring cleanings. As you can see in the slides there, these are some of the spring cleanings that were conducted by our stakeholders. This was a spring cleaning done on 6th Avenue between Joshua Mkagonkomo and 4th Street. These are other pictures for piles of garbage after residents had collected refuse during a spring cleaning exercise. Then a front loader clearing refuse in sanitary lane. The economy is largely driven by SME sector, hence the need to provide appropriate infrastructure for vending, such as safe market under construction in Nkulumane, that will aid to the ongoing decentralization of vending. This is the picture for the Nkulumane vending facility that is under construction, and the inside of the facility. From a whole of government perspective, Council working with the MDAs in full will provide conducive environment for the recovery growth of industries with special economic zones in Belmont, Umvumila, Kelvin Industry, and Donington. Your Worship, the country's economic development continues to be hampered by low investment, exchange rate, and price instability. The country's inflation, multiple exchange rates, and the burden of high debt levels have had an overall effect of increasing the cost of production and encouraged informality. Declining direct foreign investments is limiting the transfer of new technologies necessary in modernizing our economy. Rising inflation, the depreciation of the local currency, and higher interest rates have dampened consumption and investment, resulting in frequently salary review requests. The term inflation, the central bank tightened monetary policy, raised the interest rates from 80% to 200%, further liberalized the forex market, and issued gold coins as a store of value. According to the African Development Bank Economic Outlook for Zimbabwe, 2023 inflation is projected to ease to 132.2% in 2023 and 36.1% in 2024, supported by economic stability. On the review of the 2023 budget, the 2023 budget was crafted during a period of exchange Volatility or exchange rates hovered around 700 to US dollar. Through a monetary policy interventions, inflation has stabilized to around 100%. The capital budget for 2023 was set at 69.6 billion and the recurrent budget was 103.5 billion as shown in the table below. This is the table that is showing our recurrent budget that was at 103 billion and the capital budget that was at 69.6 billion. As at 30 September 2023, Council had utilized 9,556,000,000 and 161, which is 14% of the total capital budget of 69.6 billion. The graph is presented. The low level of capital expenditure was due to low disbursement of devaluation and scenario funds. The high cost of borrowing also led to depressed activity during the first and second quarter of the year. 54% of the total expenditure has been directed towards improving the city roads infrastructure. Council directed capital funds towards acquisition of vehicles, yellow equipment, and ICT under the governance and administration program. This program accounted to 29% of the total expenditure. Social services accounted to 11% of the total expenditure, where funds were sent on investment properties such as community halls, council-rented properties which required urgent rehabilitation. Funds were utilized in acquiring standby generator for Chabalala Clinic. Mkanwini Satellite Clinic was also constructed and commissioned during the year. Work was done on rehabilitating the chapel at Umvujwa Cemetery. Wash activities accounted for 6% of the total expenditure. Council concentrated on wash projects in Pumula East, which included Pumula East sewer outfalls and Pumula East water main renewals. During the funding constraints, Council did not embark on any capital projects under the Public Safety and Security Service Program and the Natural Resources Conservation and Management Program. The 2023 capital budget performance is also shown on the pie chart graph that is presented on our screen. Social services were 11%, water, sanitation and hygiene 6%, governance and administration 29%, roads took 54%. Bulawayo water and sewerage services improvement project. The objective of Bulawayo water sewerage services improvement program was improvement of municipality water supply and sanitation services, contributing to improvement of the health and social well-being of the population of the city of Bulawayo. The project was meant to improve the municipality water supply sewage services through the rehabilitation and enhancement of the water supply system, strengthening institutional aspects, enhancing service delivery, efficiency, and improvement of the environmental sanitation. Project description. The project was made up of 4 components with the aim of improving in the following areas. Number 1, water service efficiency. This entailed improving pumping, enhancing operational efficiency in the criterion treatment works, improving the network of Makweko criterion reservoirs This will reduce non-revenue water losses and enhance operational efficient supply of water to areas such as car park. Number 2, environment. The rehabilitation of sewage infrastructure will reduce the pollution of streams from the raw sewers. Rehabilitation work was earmarked in the following areas: southern areas, sewage treatment, catchment area, where broken trunk and outflow sewers and treatment works will be rehabilitated. Secondly, car park community sewage and outflow sewers will be extended. Thirdly, critical hotspot sections in the sewage networks will be repaired. Lastly, public toilets will be rehabilitated. Then thirdly, institutional capacity development. The project supported the enhancement of the City of Bulawayo staff capacitation through training and provision of essential operational and maintenance equipment. Capacitation was extended to the areas such as billing and geographical information system, GIS, while studies were expected to be conducted in wastewater reuse and power generation from waste. Institutional outreach and accountability mechanisms were also strengthened. Fourthly, project management. This component included financing of technical assistance for project coordination, project management, monitoring, evaluation, contract administration, procurement, financial management, and project auditing services. Then the project cost and financial plan. The project was estimated to cost 37.0 million net of taxes and duties. Council was expected to contribute 10%, with the rest coming from African Development Bank, as shown in the table below. The table is presented on the screen. Project achievements. The Ministries of Local Government and Public Works and Finance and Economic Development have been supportive in terms of providing oversight and in overall administration tasks. Senior officials from 2 ministries actively participated in the consultative forums held. Below are some of the images of the achievements that were generated from this initiative, this model of financing. The oil control at SASTI was rehabilitated. You can see from the pictures. And these are the new controllers. And also our criterion, the plant was rehabilitated. We also removed all controls at Ngema pump station and replaced with the new control panel at Ngema. Then the old meters were replaced. These are the old meters that were replaced. Now we have got a program for the new meters that we installed. These are the new meters that we installed on the screen. Then we also, new valve chamber and new valves were installed. Then these are the laying of sewer pipes in Hlalani Guhle in Car Park. And that's the map of some of the works that were done in Car Park. The project closed on 30 June 2023. Council and the residents of Bulawayo truly and sincerely appreciates the assistance it got from the African Development Bank. We will like to thank you, the African Development Bank, for funding the City of Bulawayo to achieve some of the programs that you have highlighted. Then the 2023 budget performance review. Your Worship, Council has continued to provide services under challenging circumstances, some beyond its control. A number of success stories were recorded during the year. Public-private partnership. Parking management system. Council entered into a partnership with TD3 investments, popularly known as TTI, to provide a parking solution on 7,200 parking bays. In 2023, council received as income in US dollars 693,000, in rands 478,000, in Zimbabwean dollars 765 million as at 30 September 2023. These funds have been applied on parking projects to improve parking, with over 5,200 having been marked to date. Council stands guided by the Urban Councils Act, Chapter 29.15, Sections 189 to 190 on this project. Establishment of a solar plant at Ncema Dam by William Engineering. The project was approved by Cabinet in December 2022, and it is expected to improve availability of electricity during load shedding at tower works and pump stations. I now present the current year budget performance and programs. Governance and Administration Program. Under this program, there are 6 sub-programs, namely Council, Town Clerk, Human Resources and Administration, Finance, Audit and Loss Control, and Technical Services. Council was able to procure vehicles, yellow equipment and computers under this program. It also fitted vehicle tracking and fleet management systems on council vehicles, bringing the total of vehicles and plant monitored by the system to 210. The image below shows some of the equipment which was commissioned this year. As you can see on the screen, some of the equipment that council have commissioned. Recently, on 27 October, when in Pumula commissioning the stands and the vehicles that are showed on the screen. The acting mayor was there cutting the ribbons for the commissioning of the vehicles. Water, sanitation and hygiene. The 2022-2023 rainy season was very low. Water abstraction was subdued during 2023, with latest dam statistics indicating that in July 2023, the dams were on 52.3% full compared to 53.51% in July 2022. Council continued with water and sewer connections throughout the city and attending to service delivery issues such as water and sewer bus. These are some of the works that were done by council in connecting the new sewer in Car Park, rehabilitation of outflow sewer line in Morningside, and clearing choked sewers. You can see on the screen. Water is also supplied from Nyamadlov bowls. In July 2023, the bowls were supplying 4,992 megaliters per day. There is a scope to increase the supply from Nyamadlov. There are 346 functional bowls within the city meant to augment supplies during water shortage periods. Water is treated at Ncema Waterworks, which has a design capacity to treat 80,000 megaliters per day. The estimated current capacity stands at 45,000 cubic meters per day. Operational capacity stands at 35% due to 12 filters that require maintenance. Criterion water treatment plant has a design capacity of 180,000 megaliters per day. It is currently operating at 110,000 megaliters per day. 14 out of 16 filters were operational this year. In order to treat the water to acceptable standard, Council uses chemicals shown on the table below. Reasonable buffer stocks of chemicals were maintained within the confines of limited cash inflows. The table below shows the chemicals that were kept, that were purchased by Council. Council also operates 7 clear and raw water reservoirs with carrying capacity of 1,800.5 megaliters of water as shown on the table. This year, Council struggled to maintain reservoir levels due to intermittent water supply and poor outages caused by criminal activities and load shedding and lack of water in the city dams. You can see on the table the water that we're having at our criterions. It should be noted that Council operates 5 wastewater treatment plants and 2 sewer ponds. By August 2023, the sewer plants received a total of 1,916,780 cubic meters compared to 3,132,860 cubic meters last year of the wastewater inflows, working out to an average of 200,036,640 cubic meters. In August 2022, we were sitting at 391,607 cubic meters. In the same period, the treatment plants produced a cumulative 800,902,487 cubic meters. The reclaimed water as a percentage was 46% of the total inflows. Social services program. The program includes 4 sub-programs, mainly education, social amenities, and welfare services, housing and health. Below are some of the achievements made this year. Education. Council continued with devolution-funded program at Vulindlela Primary School, working towards completing the 4th classroom block. That's the classroom block that is shown on the screen at our Vulindlela School. With the support of school development committees, 13 early childhood development classroom blocks were at various stages of construction. The picture below shows an ECD block under construction at Senzanga Corner Primary School at 60% completion. That is a school in Kanwini, Senzanga Corner Primary School. Expenditure was incurred in rehabilitating preschools and procurement of books for libraries. Social amenities and welfare services. Council this year spent 876 million in capital projects under this sub-program. Council rehabilitated a number of community facilities such as halls, youth facilities, sporting facilities. Work was done on Chabalala Flats, Mabutweni, shared toilets and showers, and Bulawayo home industries. This is a picture of the rehabilitated Mabutweni Hall. Housing. Council has an ongoing land development projects that will deliver 6,097 stands. This year it managed to hand over 235 stands to beneficiaries. A number of land development schemes are awaiting positive outcomes from the ongoing negotiation with beneficiaries following the introduction of the local currency in 2018. These are pictures of the stands that were commissioned on 27 October in Phumula. Over 30,000 building inspections were conducted during this year, with 1,255 plans approved and 294 occupational certificates issued. 90% of the development permits submitted were processed with stipulated time frames. Then under health, City of Bulawayo runs 21 clinics, 1 hospital, 6 cemeteries, and crematory. There are plans underway to build 2 more clinics in Car Park and in Mkanwini, and open 2 more cemeteries in Marvel and Pumla South. Mkanwini Satellite Clinic was completed and commissioned this year. It will reduce the distances traveled by the residents of Mkanwini to seek primary health care. Below is a picture of the completed structure. That's the satellite clinic that was built in Mkanwini. The City of Bulawayo is working on making medicines easily accessible to patients who visit clinic through constructing pharmacies within clinic premises. 6 clinics are benefiting from the project. 6 clinics which are benefiting from these projects are 1 Luveve, 2 Njube, 3 Pelandaba, 4 Emakandeni, 5 Makawe, and 6 EF Wallstone clinics. That's the picture of the pharmacies that are being constructed inside the clinics. Appreciation goes to the government for donating drugs and medicines through NetFarm that has ensured primary health care is availed at lower costs. Non-governmental organizations contributed through results-based financing, RRPF. Council also recognizes the contribution made by the government in constructing a new clinic in Car Park, Shalan Gushe at Mpompin area. The clinic is serviced with the new road, making accessibility easier. Roads program encompasses road infrastructure and traffic management. This program is meant to address the traffic flow of roads. By 30 September 2023, 573 million $573 had been spent on the roads related capital projects out of the budget of 10.6 billion Zimbabwean dollars. Over 20 kilometers of road network had been attended to by the mid-year. Related to that were 115 static compliant traffic signs that were replaced, over 200,000 meters square of potholes patched. Work was done to clear the storm drains with a target of 150 kilometers of drains to attend to. Below are some of the roads-related projects that were done this year. On the screen, there is a jet patcher that was working at Matopos Road and Cecil Road intersection. Then there's also construction vehicles that were working on Luveve Road reconstruction along Machobane Township. Government reconstructed major roads in Car Park, starting from the intersection of Hagins and Percy Boston Road and all the way to Mpompin Salanguhle Car Park. This road have been improved the trafficability within Car Park and Salanguhle. On the screen, that's the road that was constructed by the government at Mpompin in Car Park. Public safety and security services. This program encompasses emergency services, security services, and public lighting. Council installed 30 new tower lights in Kulmane 1 and Pumla South, shown in the images on the screen there. Council emergency services continues to be vigilant in providing civic protection to human life and property. The emergency services attended to incidents of the road traffic accidents and bushfires where it lost a tender to fire in the process. Lives were saved. natural resources and conservation management. During 2023, council management managed to conduct 24-hour awareness campaigns, set a target to plant 2,500 trees and cleared 75% of the road veggies and open spaces. These projects increased council role in greening the city's environment. 2024 proposed revenue budget. The 2024 proposed budget consultation meetings were consolidated into a single meeting in view of the elections. Council met with business, community, and all other stakeholders separately. Service delivery continues to be subdued due to financial constraints, as witnessed by the low budget expenditure. Residents and stakeholders bemoaned deteriorating service delivery. They desire to have roads rehabilitated as opposed to pothole patching, sewer blockages permanently addressed or attended to expeditiously, water losses from leaks and bursts reduced, replacing old pipes with the new ones, functioning streetlights on every road with all tower lights working properly. Cognizance of water shortages in the city of Bulawayo Metropolitan Provincial Economic Development Plan 2021 to 2025 will prioritize the following strategies in order to improve water supply. Number one, rehabilitation of existing water, sewage reticulation infrastructure. Number two, replacement of aged infrastructure. Number three, construction of car park water reservoir. Number four, recycling water for non-potable uses. Number five, triple Ps in water and sewage infrastructure development. Number six, increased public sector investment in water sanitation infrastructure. Number seven, improve demand control measures for water such as smart meters. And lastly, drilling additional boreholes. Connectivity and quality of roads in the province is one of the paramount importance as it enhances accessibility and triggers economic growth. Road infrastructure is old and has exceeded its lifespan. The city will benefit from low-hanging fruits included in the metropolitan province plans, which will prioritize construction, rehabilitation, routine maintenance of roads during the plan period. As a province, the following road projects will be undertaken. Number one, Masia Pambil Drive. Number two, Cecil Avenue. Number three, Ngeta Drive. Number four, 5 Street. Number five, Luveve Road. Number six, Matopos Road. Number seven, Van Rikbeek Drive. Number eight, George Avenue. Number nine, Cochrane Avenue. Number 10, Athlone Road. And number 10, Kabugo Road. Sentiment expressed on the 2024 proposed budget during a consultative meetings were focused on the need to improve service delivery at an affordable charge. The proposed budget is key in unlocking service delivery and infrastructure maintenance. This year has seen an official rates grow up from $700 to over $6,000 following government policy interventions. Government is implementing policy interventions to bring costs down, which may determine the need for tariff adjustment in 2024. However, there was a realization that any further increase of the current US dollar tariffs will burden the citizenry of Bulawayo and exacerbate their indebtedness to council. We are owed as the council of about over 260 billion Zimbabwean dollars. To achieve the aspirations of the residents, the stakeholders requires adequate resources and investment, which talks to the US $167 million proposed revenue budget for the year 2024. Proposed activities in 2024, which were presented as stakeholders during the consultative meetings, will go a long way in achieving the vision, the mission of the city, satisfying the needs of our society. The capital budget is proposed at US 96 million, an 8% reduction from 2023 budget. The projects to be undertaken are listed as per our screen, ladies and gentlemen. There are buildings, there's computer software, furniture, fixtures, fittings, computer, ICT equipment, infrastructure, intangible assets, land improvements, machinery and equipment. The figures are given on the far right on the screen there. 2024 capital budget projects will be funded from external borrowing, revenue contributions to capital outlay, Zinara funding, devolution funds, and anticipated donations. Public subscription pre-sale scheme in various suburbs have been budgeted for in 2024 capital budget, premised on the successful conclusion of negotiations with beneficiaries. On the screen there is a table that is showing the anticipated sources of our funding. Number one will be the borrowing powers, followed by the revenue, which are our rates collection, Zinara, capital devolution, operational devolution, then pre-sale. Then lastly, it's coming from our BLF. Then there is a pie chart that is shown on the screen, showing the percentage of each contribution. The borrowing powers is contributing 54%, then revenue 18%, Zinara 8%, BLF is almost next to insignificant, then pre-sale 9%, operational devolution 2%, capital devolution 9%. The proportion of projects to be funded from external borrowings have increased from 45% last year to 54%. There has been an increase in projects that will be funded from revenue contributions to CAPEX. This line of funding will contribute 18%. Your Worship, the intergovernmental funds transfer or devolution funds allocation for 2024 has been set at 55,533,872,800. This capital grant is 51,703,950,500. And the operational grant is 3,829,922,300. The Zinara funds for 2024 are based on the estimates. The government is yet to release the 2024 allocations for this fund. The combined proposed 2024 budget stands at 264 million. And on the screen there, we can see how our 264,664,416 is made out of. Government and administration will take a leading role, water and sanitation and hygiene. Secondly, thirdly, social services. Fourthly, roads. Then public safety and security services. Natural resources, conservation and management will contribute the least. Then below is also a table that is showing the revenue budget versus the capital budget. The revenue budget is at 63%, while the capital budget is at 37%. The 2024 budget alignment to programs, governance and administration. Council has set aside 62,828,532 under this program. $20 million will be spent on capital projects, while 47.7 million will be spent on recurrent expenditure. It is anticipated that the income under this program will amount to $72.6 million. $10.6 million will be spent on acquiring vehicles and yellow equipment. The capital budget will address the lifts at Tower Block, improve the ambience of the revenue hall, and installing a new air conditioner plant at the revenue hall. Recurrent income of $72.6 million is largely coming from assessment and property taxes. In line with the National Vision, Council is embarking on the number of projects to improve governance. Involvement of community is critical in delivering services to their satisfaction. The major activities planned in 2024 include councillors' feedback meetings to be held at councils' halls and schools. There are a number of council policies yet to be rolled out to the residents, stakeholders, and capture their input. A number of bylaws are being updated to reflect council vision in the national vision. As stated in the last year's budget speech, Council managed to process the following bylaws, which are now awaiting gazetting. Number 1, traffic enforcement bylaw was approved by the Attorney General, ready for gazette. Number 2, vending bylaws. It has been approved by the Attorney General and is ready for gazette. Number 3, advertising bylaws is with the parent ministry. The following bylaws are at various stages of processing within council. Number 1, environmental management bylaw went through council, ready and is now ready for advertising. Number 2, fire brigade bylaw went through council. Number 3, solid wastewater management bylaws went through the committee. Number 4, wastewater and water is now ready to go to the committee. Residents made a call for frequent interaction and meetings. To that end, council is working out the modalities of increasing the number of meetings at ward level to discuss civic issues. Under water, sanitation and hygiene, council has set aside $66,482,648. Under this program, $21 million will be spent on capital projects, while $45.9 million will be spent on recurrent expenditure. It is anticipated that the income under this program will amount to $59.2 million. Significant projects earmarked for 2024 are development of new refuse disposal cell, which will cost $500,000 at Ngoz Mine. Then we have got also Pumula outflow sewer, which will require a cost of $4.65 million. Sewers in new areas will require $2.4 million. Council is planning to harness reclaimed water for use as non-treatable water. In order to fully benefit on the reuse of reclaimed water, Council has set aside $905,000 to improve the reclaimed water infrastructure. As part of Council strategy plan, Waterworks will require $3.8 million to improve operational efficiency. To reduce water losses, Council has set aside a capital expenditure budget of $3.5 million to be supplemented by a recurrent expenditure on the maintenance and repairs of $7.1 million. Water is expected to contribute $42 million in income. Sewage will contribute $8 million, and solid water waste management will contribute $9.3 million. under social services. Council has set aside 83,376,167,000 US dollars under this program. 31 million US dollars will be spent on capital projects, while 53 million US dollars will be spent on recurrent expenditure. It is anticipated that the income under this program will amount to 35.1 million US dollars. 4.9 million US dollars is set aside for education-related capital expenditure, which includes the construction of the new libraries at Mahachula, Emakandeni, and Karl Park, refurbishing Kulmane Library. 2 classroom blocks are planned at Ngwalongwalo Primary School and Vulindlela Primary School, funded from devolution funds. Council intends to construct a new school, Kuzwa Primary School, and build a science laboratory at Sizalendaba Secondary School. Under social amenities, Council will continue refurbishing community halls, youth centers, and training centers. Council is proposing to spend 1 million US dollars on floodlights at East Stadia and a further 1 million US dollars on Papa Fields Stadium to improve security. Provision of health is key to the well-being of residents of the city. 7.4 million US dollars has been set aside in the capital budget to address health issues. This budget includes construction of 2 new council clinics, one in the sprawling Karl Park and other in Mkanwin Township. The budget will also address the rehabilitation of the crematorial development of Pumla South and Marvel cemeteries. Under roads, Council has set aside 29,544,894,000 US dollars. Under this program, 23 million US dollars will be spent on the capital projects, while 6 million US dollars will be spent on the recurrent expenditure. Council is setting aside 23 million US dollars, or 76% of the roads budget, towards roads infrastructure, traffic management. A component of this program has a budget of 431,000 to cover the installation of traffic cameras, traffic signs, compliant to SATIC protocol. Under public safety and security services, Council has set aside 18,419,848 United States dollars under this program, which covers emergency services, security services, and public lighting. 2 million US dollars will be spent on capital projects, while 16 million will be spent on recurrent expenditure. Emergency services has been allocated a capital budget of 76,000 US dollars for procurement of the first responder life-saving equipment. Security services has been allocated 23 million US dollars to purchase firearms. Public lighting has been allocated 1.9 million to be used in installing solar street lights, 400 power lights, and traffic lights. Security services and emergency services are labor intense, and most of the recurrent expenditure will address manning levels and maintenance of the equipment. Under natural resources conservation and management, Council has set aside 3,412,328 US dollars under this program to conserve the green city. 104,000 US dollars will be spent on capital projects, while 3.3 million US dollars will be spent on recurrent expenditure. Expenditure will go towards resuscitating council parks dotted around the city, bringing this Centenary Park back to its glory, sinking boreholes to irrigate the parks, and constructing an amphitheater. Under the digital economy, Council has introduced a number of innovative programs to improve people's lives and encourage and expand the usage of e-services and ICT. This is in line with Council's vision of becoming a smart city and a smart city, and it also falls under our national vision. $2.6 million have been set aside in the 2024 capital budget to procure hardware such as personal computers, laptops, tablets, printers, servers, hardware for prepaid metering, and other peripheral computer-related equipment to enhance Council digital interaction with stakeholders. Your Worship, over and above the computer hardware, Council proposes to spend a further $380,000 on computer software and software upgrades. The software to be procured or upgraded cover Council ERP, website application upgrades, and customer contact center upgrade project. In 2024, Council will continue to expand its network, and a capital budget of $300,000 has been set aside to expand the network. Your Worship, Council will implement some large modules, including the digitalizing of documents. In addition, Council will seek to implement security programs and replace obsolete equipment. Under gender responsive budgeting, Bulawayo is the second largest city in Zimbabwe, strategically located in the southwestern part of Zimbabwe. The city has a population of 665,940, of which 307,983, which is 46% of the population of Bulawayo, are male, and 357,957, which is a total of 54%, are female. The statistics is provided by the population census report that was given in 2022. Given a sex ratio of 86 male for every 100 females, the import of this figure is that the Council cannot ignore issues in this budget. Council cannot ignore the gender issues in this budget. The gender responsive budget, shortly GRB statement, is a summary of the measures taken by Bulawayo City Council in response to the Ministry of Finance Budget Directive. The statement shows detailed revenue and program expenditure budgets that include sex, discredited data of staff and beneficiaries, including youth, senior citizens, people with disabilities, PWD, day population, and night population. Policy framework. The City of Bulawayo Gender Responsive Budget Statement is guided by the Constitution of Zimbabwe, National Gender Policy, Sustainable Development Goals, SGDs, SADC Protocol on Gender Development, and National Development Strategy 1, NDS1. The City of Bulawayo acknowledges gender budgeting as an essential part of good local governance in the regard to gender and disability policies, which are adopted in 2017 to further promote gender equity and social inclusion. These policies address the component of gender responsive budgeting as they seek to promote gender sensitivity and inclusive environment. Under policies that currently address gender and employee welfare that are in place include: 1, recruitment and selection policy; 2, sexual harassment policy; 3, employee wellness policy; 4, youth policy; Number 5, safety, health and environment police. And lastly, City of Bulawayo Code of Conduct. The budget process. In preparing for the 2024 budget, Council considered gender and inclusion issues by ensuring that the gender focal persons and gender champions are included in all budget planning meetings, and their input was invaluable. City of Bulawayo used WhatsApp platforms, newspaper adverts, and council website to disseminate information on GRB processes. The budget subcommittee of the city was exposed to the gender-responsive budget through attending workshops organized by stakeholders such as Gender Links and the Ministry of Local Government. On the 27th of July 2023, Council conducted the 2023 budget performance review meeting at the large City Hall. Therefore, a 2024 budget was crafted and presented to councillors, budget committee, business community, and the residents. Council used invitation pamphlets, social media platforms, and adverts were placed in the press 7 days prior to the commencement of the budget consultations. The participants included various stakeholders such as youth, women, men, and persons with disabilities in all ages. City of Bulawayo used different languages using the budget City of Bulawayo used different languages during the budget consultation processes. The languages were mainly English, Ndebele, Shona, and Sai language. Women, youth, and persons with disabilities had a chance to attend the meetings and expressed themselves freely pertaining to the gender and inclusion issues faced in the communities. The views expressed by the stakeholders and community members during the budget consultations were recorded through minutes. The views expressed were recorded and taken up to promote informed decision making by the council management. Going forward, there is a need to have online surveys disaggregated by sex, disability for the stakeholders and the community to express their views. This will be a faster and broader way to engage with the community at large. The challenges encountered during the budget consultation were lack of time and poor turnout of the community members and stakeholders because of the election period. Below is a table that is showing the consolidated system engagement data. On the screen, ladies and gentlemen, that's the data that is shown there. You are glad that people with disabilities are now engaging more in this, in their city issues, and they are contributing, and their contributions are being taken. And in most cases, we see they are implemented. There are toilets in Mkanwi that have been constructed, that have got the facilities for people with disabilities. And everywhere we go, council is also including in their new buildings facilities for people with disabilities. Under revenue overview, council considered the need to access healthcare, hence it gives 5,000 liters free water per month for each domestic property. This led council to have a standstill budget. The program-based budgeting places health services, youth centers, vocational training centers, bursaries budget under the social services, while the rest of the gender mainstreaming activities and whilst the rest of the gender mainstreaming activities budget is in the human capital budget under the gender safety and health section. The City of Bulawayo adopted the results-based financing for maternal services for vulnerable women, girls, and persons with disability, bursary by council, safety nets for elderly on rates and health services offered for free for different age groups, being from central government for primary and secondary school. Below is the budget funding. 9% is coming from revenue, external loans 45%, Zinara 15%, public subscription 93%, and IGFT 8%. Gender management system. City of Bulawayo gender management system consists of the mayor, the town clerk, human capital director, council gender focal person, gender officer, departmental gender focal person, and community gender champions. The committee is responsible for ensuring gender and disability mainstreaming, and the gender equity and social inclusion reports are submitted to the General Purposes Committee. Attendance registers at 6 age disaggregated gender scorecards and reports are used to monitor and evaluate gender mainstreaming. Gender mainstreaming activities are budgeted by the human capital budget under the gender safety and health section. This is the hierarchy for the committee. For gender, there is His Worship, the mayor, deputy mayor, councillors, then town clerk, then there is the human capital director, principal gender safety and health officer. Then in the under gender officer, there is the departmental of gender focal persons. That's the hierarchy, ladies and gentlemen. Employment expenditure. Council has a staff complement of 3,587. There are 2,953 permanent staff members and 634 casual staff. 31% of staff is women and 69% are men. Below is the breakdown by gender of council employees. The table on the screen there is showing the women and men that are employed by the council. A comparison of average salaries indicate that women's salaries are 3.2% higher than those of men due to nurses' salaries. A gender inequality on salaries and favors women. A further breakdown indicates that of the full-time workers, women earn more than men by 3%. That's the table again. That is showing what I've just talked about on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Employment equity-related expenditure. Council also recognizes that the importance of reviewing and amending gender-related policies. City of Bulawayo conducts trainings of council employees, councillors, youths, human persons with disabilities on gender and disability mainstreaming. City of Bulawayo has put in place capacity building program for graduate trainees and students on attachment. Gender-specific programs. City of Bulawayo has gender-specific programs, and the following are some of them. Number one, gender training workshops such as training of council employees, councillors, community, gender champions. Currently, City of Bulawayo has 65 junior councillors comprised of 37 females and 28 males. Number two, bursary program whose beneficiaries are both the girl child and the boy child. Number three, provision of sanitary pads to adolescent girls in school. 1,558 sanitary pads were distributed in the second quarter of 2023. Number four, City of Bulawayo has 10 vocational training centers, 3 home craft centers, and is one of the 12 local authorities in the country that successfully applied for the Swedish-funded gender inclusive local economic development project through gender links. The cultural value chains project's main areas of focus are refurbishing and retooling Bulawayo, home industries, capacity building through training of human youths and persons with disabilities from Bulawayo community in weaving and basketry, increasing productivity through purchasing more raw materials for weaving and basketry, equipping in the industry with IT equipment, marketing and advertising, life skills and entrepreneurship, training and of participants. Training of participants was conducted during a 3-day training program that was held from the 12th to the 14th of June 2023, and subsequent training have been done. Number 5, commemoration of international days, for example, Women's Day, 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, International Day of Girl Child, maternal health and men's programs such as VIC, cancer screening and counseling for council employees. Expenditure by sub-program. Gender equity and social inclusion training workshops, junior councillors program, BESAR program, provision of sanitary pads, adolescent girls and young women in school, conducting entrepreneurship skills training for women, men, youth, persons with disabilities, and survivors of gender-based violence. Council runs 21 clinics and 1 hospital where maternal health and men's health programs, sexual reproductive health, and rights services are accessed. The budget sets the tone for the city of Bulawayo aspirations for the forthcoming year, 2024, guided by the Council's vision and the national vision, NDS1 and the regional protocols, which include SADC protocol on gender and development and international protocols, the convention of the elimination of all forms of discrimination against women, as well as the national policies on gender and disabilities as read with the Council's gender policy and disability policy, therefore integrating issues on gender responsive budgeting and the inclusion of persons with disabilities and youth. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the budget sets the tone for the city of Bulawayo aspirations for the forthcoming 12 months, guided by the Council's vision, the national vision, and NDS1. Secondly, the 2024 budget will maintain the US tariffs at the last year's levels. Monthly bills will continue to be based on the US dollar tariffs and translated to local currency at the time of billing. Number 3, payment of bills will continue to be in all currencies tradable in our country. Number 4, residents and stakeholders are encouraged to pay their dues in order to realize the targets set out in this budget. Council will explore and implement more effectively and efficient strategies in debt collection during the 2024 period. Number 5, residents and stakeholders are encouraged to safeguard council property so that the city can benefit from reduced expenditure of attending to assets that are intentionally vandalized or damaged. Number 6, Council is expected to deliver services in line with the residents' and stakeholders' expectations. However, it is expected that the economy will be stable in order to realize the goals and outcomes highlighted in the speech. Lastly, I therefore commend this budget to the Council and fellow residents of Bulawayo. That's the end of my presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for listening to the budget, proposed budget for the year 2024. God bless you all. I think.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairperson, for presenting the 2024 proposed budget. Ladies and gentlemen, we have already the presentation of the proposed 2024 budget by the Chairperson of the Finance Committee. I now open the floor for contributions in form of questions, comments, and proposals, which I suppose will add value to our current and future operations and budget formulation processes. The floor is now open to everyone. Councillor Ndobo, followed by Councillor Mashao.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Thank you very much, Finance Chair, Mr. Moyo. I want to thank you for presenting and announcing such a comprehensive budget, which in my view resonates very well with our expectations. From the sound of it, it would appear that we would have loved to have more capital projects, but I noticed that because of the difficult background in which we are, there is a reduction in capital projects, which again, I think it shows how sensitive we have been to the plight of the residents of Bulawayo and the aspirations and the expectations of the people. I think we have a bias towards ensuring that service delivery is maintained, which for me I think is good, and I want to say it should be supported. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Mashamo.
Thank you, yes, Your Worship. Thank you, our Finance Chair, for presenting this budget. My contribution is that we need to proactively engage and coalesce around putting our shoulders on the wheel, ensuring that we motivate our residents to continue to pay our bills. We also need to discourage those that are scrounging for our residents who are paying in foreign currency at the city council walls, where they sit outside with their ATM cards and asking people to pay, to give them their US dollars and pay and swipe for them in bond. This budget is largely requires American dollars, because if not all, maybe 95% of the services in city council are paid for in US dollars. So Bulawayo is for us all. It's not for the city council employees and the management and us as the councillors. I want to implore all of us in Bulawayo to take responsibility and put our mouths where our monies are, and ensure that we support Bulawayo City Council by discouraging all forms of taking away the hard-earned US dollar that our ratepayers wants to contribute to the council and swiping, because this money depreciates every minute immediately when it's swiped. So I'm making a carry-on call that let's help City Council help ourselves in ensuring that we build the once beautiful and the most cleanest city in Zimbabwe. Thank you so much.
Councillor Ndlovu.
Ngiyabonga Your Worship. Ukansela Mahlangu ngibona nisethethe amazwi amaningi kade ngifuna ukukhuluma ukuthi bakithi ibudget leyo izisebenze iphathiswa yithi kakhulu izakhamizi ekuthini sibhadale ama-bills. Iyi-stand still budget ukuthi ngomnyaka ophelileyo enalumnyaka osikuwo yabe lokhu injalo la ngomnyaka ozayo 2024. Esehluleke ukwenza wenalo umnyaka ukuthi sisehluleka njalo ukwenza ngomnyaka ozayo nxa njengezakhamizi singancedisanga ikhanseli ngokubhadala. njengoba etshilo ukhansila Mahlawa uqakathekileyo ukuthi sinanzelele ukuthi ngezimdola ikhansela akulanto engayenza. Xa singakhangela sile group lapho izakhamizi WhatsApp group izakhamizi ezireport khona ama-faults ngawesuwa, ngawamanzi, ngawemigwaqo, kuyatshengisela ukuthi idolobho selicollapsile. Icollapse kodwa lilabanikazi abayithi izakhamizi, abayithi ama-councillors, abayithi council management, abayithi osodolobho bedolobho, abayithi ama-civic organization, abayithi sonke abahlali bakwaBulawayo. So isicelo sami sokuthi sonke esikwazi ukuthi singabahlali bakwaBulawayo kasincediseni ikhanseli yethu ngoba ngethu sonke ukuthi ibudget le isebenze ngokubhadala ama-rates ethu ngesikhathi njalo sibhadala ngemali enjani ethengayo. Ukugcina your worship umproposa ukuthi si-adopte ibudget epresentwe ngu-finance chair yabo.
Siyabonga. Any seconder? Thank you.
Anyone thinking otherwise?
Anyone thinking otherwise? Angibone muntu. Our 2024 budget has been adopted. Siyabonga. The council is adjourned.